I have just now arrived at Gribskov, which is one of the largest forests in Denmark. Which isn't to say it much because there's not that much forests in Denmark. But I'm gonna spend the night here. I've packed some of my self-made gear, my own tarp, which I've made from an old tent that I bought for cheap, and my backpack, which I've made out of IKEA bags, which is really great material. Fantastic. And I'm gonna see how those things hold up, and I'm also gonna do a kind of all-around test of my pretty minimalist setup. It's quite windy today, a little bit cold, and I've really tried to keep the weight down, so I'm at 9 kilos for the backpack and my fanny pack, my lovely little fanny pack I have with me here. The backpack is 7.5 kilos and this one is 1.5 kilos, and yeah, I've packed a tarp, a ground sheet, a sleeping bag, some change of clothes if it should start to rain, and I got 3 liters of water, 3,500 calories, so I'm fairly satisfied with the amount of weight I'm carrying with this setup. When I went out for a hike, which was in the summer, I had around the same weight. This was only with like 1.5 liters of water, so I think I've reduced my pack weight quite a bit, which is surprising because it's also gonna get colder tonight, and yeah, it's just colder in general. So yeah, I'm excited to see if I have kind of messed up, but I've put myself in some safe environments where I'm staying tonight. I'm 2 kilometers away from my car, and in my car I have a tent, I have a warmer sleeping bag, I have a dry change of clothes, I have more water, and should everything just totally mess with me, I could go back there and get those things, or I could also just sleep in the car. So I have a lot of possibilities, and I'm in no way, shape or form unsafe with what I'm doing today or tonight. It's just, yeah, a little test to see if I can handle maybe sleeping a bit colder than what would be recommended, and yeah, keeping things down weight-wise, because I really want to do those FKTs. I really want to do those long-distance hikes, and I think a big part of that is finding out how comfortable you are with maybe freezing a bit, or how cold you can get, and how much of support you need when you sleep, how big your mat needs to be, and stuff like that. So yeah, I arrived like 30 minutes late because I forgot my trekking poles. Excited. It's fun. It's first time I'm sleeping outside alone in such an environment, so yeah, let's see how things turn out.
I was somewhat unexpectedly joined by a friend for my hike around the forest. He wouldn't be staying overnight with me, but having his company as it started getting dark really helped me handling being out there. I felt much more at ease in the woods after sunset.
Wow. Oh,
Here I'm setting up my tarp. I tried to make the forest a pitch, but it turns out that my tarp is simply too small. Now I can see that a 3x3 meter tarp is needed for that pitch, on top of a ridge line with tie-outs. But that just motivates me to try and build my own tarp with those specs. Maybe that will be an upcoming video. This is one of the 2 nuts I know, but so far I haven't needed more than this for pitching my tarp.
Begynder at se decent ud, det her. Det skal blive et rimelig nice pitch. Come have a look. Det blæser bare væk. Joe Biden, wake up. Damn, mama.
This is not the.
What the fuck are we?
Not the way.
Here's the local train that runs through Gribskov. It blows its horn when passing through the forest, and you can hear it from quite far away. I dropped my friend off at his car, and now it was time for me to walk back alone.
So, this is my first time night hiking in the woods, and I find it quite pleasant. There are like little sounds everywhere, because the woods are still alive, but I have like a nice place to set up. And it's like a little home I'm looking forward to return to. So all of this is kind of temporary. And just, yeah, beautiful to look at. So, little half-hour hike along this road, actual asphalt, and then I'll be there. The fun thing is that right now my running injury is in much betterment. I am gonna run 4 kilometers 2 times next week, maybe 5 if I'm feeling good about this hike afterwards. And yeah, I've generally been cleared for hiking 20 kilometers, so with pack and everything, that's really exciting. And there was a pattern that got figured out, and that is that I've just been weight training way too hard. I've been hitting the gym, and I'm used to really going ham on each exercise. Back from lifting weights earlier in life. But that was like different muscle groups. But I'm like hitting only legs when I'm there, and I'm doing like 6 exercises of 3 repetitions each. And yeah, it's just too much. So I really dialed back the intensity, and that helped so much with my injury. Now there's a new training scheme, and that is just half of what I'm used to doing twice a week. I think it's gonna go well. I did some running really close together, a Saturday and Monday, and that would actually be against like the advised rules regarding the injury, but it was just to test if I got any negative feedback from the body. I got nothing. It was fine. So I think, yeah, there's clearly a sign of the injury being strained by working the weights too much. So that is like the greatest thing that has happened yet in this injury history, because it has all just been a freaking guessing game until now. But now that there's a pattern and it's getting better, it's like so much easier to handle, and I can start thinking about goals again.
Every time was around, I thought he'd been successful and raised it from the ground. But the later on that
Hearing Marty Robbins in some woods after sundown really reminds me of my 100-kilometer run, which I did in the winter, and through many forests. And I don't know why, but I didn't think about that. There's almost no sunlight in the winter in Denmark, so it was fairly many hours in dark woods. But listening to Marty Robbins somehow like put in ease over the situation. It's really nice to come back to that feeling and maybe realize that hiking in the woods at night is like mostly a mental game beforehand. But once the decision is made, and you're out here and you have some good light, it's mostly peaceful. I'm currently restaking my tarp. I think maybe this material begins to sag a bit if it gets wet. You can see a few drips here and there, but it's like really that much. Seeing how much water there's on here. So, yeah. I just remembered I got like an extra stake, or 2 extra stakes. So I can tie out these points, which are really sloppy. It also seemed that there's some kind of laminate on the inside, because it's silver colored, and it's kind of made like the same material as this, some kind of aluminium, and it's really retaining the heat nicely. And I don't know if it's the first tarp of its kind that does that. I haven't heard about tarps with like a heat keeping element inside. Yeah. This is dinner. 1,500 calories. Shit. Come on. Done almost 7 kilometers today. I think this quite well describes my evening hike. This is my sleeping situation. Just some wool layers in an alpaca hat. I'm aiming to get up at 6 tomorrow and see how fast I can pack this down. Before I finally go to bed, I will put like everything in its right place. Please only say nice things about my hat style. I got it from my grandma. Bed ready. It's been a long day. Jeff Garmeyer is like a freaking genius. I've got like an almost waterproof foot bottom here. Oh, and it's giving some extra warmth.
When I get done at night, all the stars are thinking bright.
So, as you maybe can tell by the sunlight, 6 a.m. did not happen at all. I was just way too cozy in my setup and maybe a little sleep deprived from my days beforehand. So, yeah, I slept in. Oh, it's been so nice, like 9.5 hours of sleep. I can't remember the last time I've had that. But I'm still gonna try to see how fast I can pack up. So let's get some stuff sorted. Quick food from yesterday. I've kind of find myself in a situation where I need to bring multiple batteries, because I did try to just bring the one inside the camera once, and yeah, that ended up with me filming everything on my phone. Since this bag is like made entirely out of IKEA bags, I've made my own backpack frame system with my sleeping pad, which is just put around like this, and then really provide some structure. I mean, normally it would be sagging a lot if I had not put that in there, but this is like somewhat firm. So yeah, that works really great, and I can save a bunch of weight. This goes outside of my waterproof here. And then now we're all packed up, ready to go. How long did this take me? Yeah, 40 minutes since I woke up, but I also took like 15 minutes just to chill, so I think I could have done this somewhat faster. Yeah. Alright, on we go. I made some small adjustments to my hiking plan. I don't have that much time to hike because I slept in, but it was well worth it. So probably gonna do just a short 10k hike, and it will still help me to feel out like how is this morning, how is it to walk with cold hands, because my hands are freaking cold at the moment. And eating breakfast on trail, how's that? For an experience, and getting lost because you're filming and talking to a camera instead of paying attention to your GPX file. I think now is a good time to rate the night, rate the setup, and I'm kind of in two minds about it, because I feel it held up relatively well tonight. There was nothing getting wet, and I felt I had a pretty good inner room in the tent. But in the morning I saw that some of the tent stakes were like partially torn out. I don't know if the setup would have been good enough had there been some serious winds. And I'm also quite fortunate that the weather this morning is quite dry, so I don't know how it would have been to pack up inside rain, and yeah, there are a lot of uncertainties about it currently. But it was a bit cold. I felt a bit cold. I also saw that there was some wetness in the bottom of my sleeping bag, so I don't know if putting my feet inside the backpack actually was a good idea, or if it just caused condensation and made me feel more cold in the end. I think there was maybe half an hour or something where I was a little cold, but it was manageable. I would say I've slept fairly well. Holy moly, there's like a whole mental aspect of getting up in the woods early in the morning that I did not think about. I thought it would have just been easy. I'm used to getting up at 6 a.m. But that's something I have to practice, it seems. Just crazy beautiful morning. What a privilege to be able to wake up and hike in this. Probably a bad idea to eat those.
currently getting way too hot with all my rain gear on. So I'm going to drop this off, give my pants and everything else just a chance to air out a bit. And yeah, I want to avoid getting completely soaked by the end of this hike.
I think that was a pretty effective short stop, which is great. What a freaking beautiful way to start the day, walking through this. We have 7 of these openings. It's a somewhat rare formation. It's from old hunting grounds that these 7 roads are made from. I think there are only 2 of these available in Denmark, and the last one I showed on the last hike I did, like 30k hike. Right up there, there's a really nice viewpoint. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a detour and get up there. What the hell was that sound? Good thing I brought my luxury item. This large, humongous towel. It's really great for. Yeah, let's go. Whee. It's freaking cold today. Oh, hey. But suddenly you're not freezing when you're out of the water. The fall has really come to stay. Kind of surprises me every year. That suddenly the colors begin to bloom or fade. That was it for this adventure. I feel like I learned a lot about staying outdoors, about tarp camping. Yeah, it's fun being back at the car. Just seemed like a small moment ago that I arrived and went out into the night.